Sometimes the problem is the methods of trying to get respect. The problem is the ways of trying to be cool and hip. The problem is the avenues of trying to be different. All of you have choices, and your choices will determine your outcome. Your outcome does not have to be negative. Your outcome can be a positive one. Your methods can lead to a good life. Your ways can lead to a rewarding life. Your avenues can lead to a successful life. You may just want a simple life, which is absolutely okay. Success is relative. Your ideal of success may be different than someone else's. Either way, live for success. Some of you may want the best that life can offer.
The reality is you are no closer to success. That's right, you are no closer to your dream. When you blame somebody else, you automatically freeze yourself.
To be the best in the world at what you do, the best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great.
You trap yourself in that same reality. But when you can get beyond the point of blaming somebody else, making it somebody else's fault, and you can take responsibility, I'm telling you, that's the first key in being successful. Stop blaming and take full responsibility. Reasons why we like to blame other people. Because when we take full responsibility, guess what? It hurts. If you have the courage, if you got the guts to say, it's my fault, then you also have the courage and the guts to do something about it and bring about change.
Become obsessed with being great. It changes everything.
There's so much value and there's so much power in trying just one more time. If you've struggled to get a prospect to understand what it is that you have to offer, try one more time. If you've struggled to get someone to try out your product or service as a customer, try one more time. If you've struggled to get people to attend events, try again, just one more time. If you had a home party before and it didn't work out, try one more time. There's so much value in trying one more time. There's so much value in staying in the game and polishing your skills. There's so much value in plan, do, review. Do what you do.
Changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, what are the characteristics or the qualities of people that are hungry? What will it take for me to get some of the things that I want? and being hungry for those things. Number one, you've got to work on yourself. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending.
You can't be precious about the way that you get there, right? And I always tell people, don't be afraid to give up on a path. The path is irrelevant. Decide what is the outcome we want. And we'll change our path if we need to, right? If your outcome is sincere, then you'll be willing to change your path, even if it means disrupting your own business model.
It doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
Most people want to make a change, but they don't stay with the change long enough until the change becomes automatic. Your life changes when you take absolute personal responsibility of the way your life looks. And if you blame it on your parents, if you blame it on your boss, if you blame it on your community, if you blame it on the economy, the more you do that, you will be practicing being spectacular at blaming. Your life changes when you look in the mirror and say, if I'm not healthy, it's because of me. Your life changes when you say, if I'm not happy in my relationships, it's because I am not selecting the right people or being the right person. Your life transforms when you say, I don't have enough money because I'm not contributing the value and doing the right things and getting really good at what I do, so I make the money. Because income reflects the value that you give to the marketplace. You can achieve the remarkable, the seemingly impossible. You can realize spectacular results. Impossible is just a belief. The impossible is a belief that the world has taught to you, and the job of a leader without a title and a job of an A player is really starting to look at your thinking, look at your core beliefs, journal about them, reflect on them, meditate on them, so you start to say, oh, these are just the programs that my parents and teachers and society have taught me, and this is not who I am. If you don't believe, if your story is you can't be world class as an athlete or as an entrepreneur or as a business builder or as a human being, then you're not going to invest in the learning, you're not going to do the work required to live that potential. It's not the most talented who wins, it's the one who capitalizes on their talents and their gifts to the fullest. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be physically gifted. It's how much of what you were born with you use and bring to life. There are a lot of people who are mediocre in their work, mediocre in their mindset, average in their heart set. They're struggling. They're not really happy. They're not really having an impact on the world. And they tell you, well, they're really, really content. And I think they're in denial. your success is a reflection of your standards. And as you want to become more, and as you want to become a master of your craft, and as you want to change the world, and as you want to inspire all witnesses who see you, and as you want to become the most heroic version of yourself, you will be in a relentless pursuit of outright greatness. And that's where the people who have become legendary live. You don't have the life based on your genetics. You have the life based on your environments and your habits. Your success reveals your standards. Your success reveals your standards.
I will not be held hostage, waiting on people to open the door for me. I will get up and grind, create my own door, and put myself on, because I am a champion. I am hungry, dedicated, fearless, a warrior of God who believes all things are possible to him that believeth. I am disciplined. I am committed. I am dedicated, young, rich, and motivated, completely sold out, all in, 120, committed to fulfilling my God-given destiny. Nothing can stop me because I am blessed and unstoppable. And I don't just say these words out of my mouth. I say them from my spirit, the champion spirit that's on the inside of me. Mediocrity has no place in me. Average is not welcomed here. I am going one place and one place only. I got a one-way ticket from the bottom to the top. And I don't say this for fame. I don't say this for money. I don't say this for validation. I'm doing this for legacy. When I'm dead and gone, they will say there is a man right there who lived on this earth, who gave it everything he had. Failure is not an option for me. Failure does not exist in my vocabulary. For 8 years, I walked the block in a mental prison, searching for answers. Panic attacks, PTSD, fear, and anxiety consumed me. But here's what was really going on. God was molding and shaping me and preparing me for this calling. He was preparing me for the words that I'm saying to you right now. You see, the more we go through the fire, the more refined we become. Now fear and pain had stung me, had inflicted me, had tried to stomp out my destiny. But God is faithful, and he did what he promised. For he said to me, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And you see, I was bold enough to believe that. And when I went around that block for those 8 years, every day I got a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher, and a whole lot bolder. And now I am prepared for my calling. And I get behind this mic with no fear to tell you that I am still here. The enemy has not defeated me. He has not destroyed me. He has actually made me. I am a champion. I am a warrior. I am hungry, dedicated, and now I'm fearless. wrapped with grace. To the enemy, I'm dangerous. It's not about goals. For me, it's about purpose, legacy. I'm anchored in grace. God still moves. I am a warrior, blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory.
You're not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were last week. You're who you are now, and this is the only shit you have control over. So you gotta regulate how much you dwell on regrets of the past. You really gotta be careful. It's good to have a little. Life is strange. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of factors happening in life. But who I am now wouldn't have ever happened if I didn't fuck up. If I didn't make those mistakes, I wouldn't have understand the importance of friendship and kindness, and I wouldn't understand the beauty of love. I wouldn't understand the full range of it because I hadn't felt the sting.
Your greatest hater is you. Your greatest hater is you. Your greatest fear is you. You're unique. You're wonderfully made. You know, stop looking for other people to validate you. Your essence, your existence is validation enough. You're here. You're alive. Success is all in your DNA. And I would challenge you to live up to it. It is so much easier to run. It is so much easier to give up. It is so much easier to quit, give in. I dare you to believe in yourself. I dare you. I dare you to be courageous enough to deal with the real you and let the world see that unique, that gifted, that special person.
You gotta fuel yourself with the f-ups. And most people get stuck in these patterns because they define themselves as a f-up, or they define themselves as a person who doesn't follow through on their ideas, or a person who doesn't pursue their real interests and loves.
There's so much value in trying one more time. There's so much value in staying in the game and polishing your skills. There's so much value in plan, do, review. Do what you do.
You have to understand how much you matter, and not just to you, how much you matter to others, right? And when you operate in your gift, not only do you liberate yourself, but you liberate others. And you force others to live a life that they never thought they could live. You be you and don't be nobody else. And you stop letting you get off the hook. You stop letting you get off the hook.
No, you have started things and you quit, and it gives you a horrible sense of regret that's made you define yourself by that. You don't have to do that. Write down what you would like to fix about your life. And then just, if you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds? Do it the right way. Go start eating vegetables, monitor your calories, write down what you eat, exercise every day, force yourself to do it.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, but I dare you to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
But then review, how could I do better? And I'm gonna go try one more time. I'm gonna go share this story one more time. I'm gonna tell my story one more time. I'm gonna share my product one more time. I'm gonna share the incredible opportunity that is network marketing one more time. Have that be your philosophy versus, hey, I tried it, it didn't work out. Try one more time. Develop that as a muscle. Develop that as a habit. And you're going to see results start to happen for you exponentially.
Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We spread ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. Decide that you're going to take some time to work on you, that you deserve that from yourself, that your life deserves some prime time. Because you are creating your own production.
A guy asked me about 2 months ago, he said, E.T., if there's one mistake you've made, what's that one mistake you made? I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. My values are not in alignment with my dreams. He said, E.T., what do you mean by that? I said, I want to tell you a story. I got a good friend of mine he came to me and said, Eric, my marriage is not where my marriage needs to be. I need to make some adjustments. I see you and your wife. I see how much time you spend with your wife, how much time you spend with your children, and I want that. You buy your wife roses regularly. You're always taking her out to eat. Like, I'm watching you. You spoil her. E.T., what can I do? And so I told him what to do, and guess what he started doing, God? He started doing the exact same thing I started doing. And he said, Eric, it's not working. Like, I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but it's not working. He said, why isn't it working? I said, you know why it's not working? Because your values and your dream, you say you want a better marriage. But I told you need to iron your wife's clothes. You know what he told me? Afterwards, he said, I'm gonna be honest with you, Eric. I know, you told me to iron, you told me to wash, you told me to cook, but where I come from, he said, I'm gonna be honest, Eric, when I do that, I feel like a punk. And I said, that's why you're having a hard time doing it, because your value system says a man is not supposed to iron, a man is not supposed to cook, a man is not supposed to wash dishes. That's what your value system says. So you're doing one thing, but you're going against your own value system. The reason why I'm having such an easy time washing clothes and cooking and ironing, you know why? Because nothing is as important to me as my marriage. And I would rather be happy. I would rather be happy than to say I ain't no punk. Make me a punk. I want to be a punk. I realized that information changes situations. And so I'd rather buy a book than buy a house. Because if I buy a book, I can buy several homes. But if I buy a home and I don't have the right information, guys, okay, I'm leaving you with this. This is crazy. Can I be honest with you guys? You could burn my house down and it wouldn't bother me. Well, how do I know? I had a home that a tornado tore down in Alabama. It didn't bother me. Why? Because we have the blueprints and they can rebuild it. You could take all my money out the bank. It might hit me. Ooh. If I would tell you my lineup of speaking and our audio book, what we're making every month, we'll be all right. I can make more money. But if you take the knowledge out of my head and take the experiences that I have, I'm broke. I'm nothing. There are those of you who said, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. That you're spending more money than you're making. Why? Because you're a consumer, but you're reading all the books and you're saying everything the books are saying. But those books are not in alignment with your values. And if you're going to go to the next level, your values are going to have to change. The problem with most people is that you're not obsessed with improvement. You're obsessed with making money. You're obsessed with taking your business to the next level. And can I be honest with you guys? When you become obsessed with improvement, I will spend more time learning in Australia than I will speaking. I will spend more time sitting under people. I will spend more time with Glenn. I will spend more time with Aaron. I will spend more time learning than I will speaking in this country. I will walk away with stuff I never heard before, books I've never read before. There are those of you with phones, and every new phone that comes out, you get it. Every upgrade, you get it. Every piece of software, you get it. You are upgrading your technology, and you've not upgraded yourself.
But let me tell you what the problem is. All right? Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants to pay the price. Right? Everybody wants the prize, but nobody's willing to pay the price. Nobody's willing to put in the work. Nobody's willing to make the sacrifice. Nobody's willing to eat their own shit, you know, to make it happen. Everybody's expecting it to be easy. I was just giving a talk the other day to school, and someone said, well, why would I choose that way? That's much harder. That way's a lot harder. Why would I choose that direction? And I was like, man, why are we talking about hard versus easy? Nobody said this was going to be easy. We don't want it to be easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be doing it, right? If it wasn't difficult, then everybody would be doing it. There'd only be, everybody would be an entrepreneur. Everybody would be a billionaire. Everybody would be a successful athlete or artist or businessman or salesperson or a scientist. Everybody would be doing it, right? It's not supposed to be easy. You shouldn't want it to be easy. But if you have a dream, if you have a mission, if you have a passion, this shit is not going to be easy. Easy shouldn't even be in the conversation or in your vocabulary. This is supposed to be hard. You should want it to be hard because then no one can replicate what you create. Anything of value and of meaning is not going to be easy. And that's how it's supposed to be.
I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me, and I said I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim.
Wherever you are in life, ladies and gentlemen, you've got comeback power. I don't care how low you are. I don't care what you have done. I don't care what you have experienced. I don't care how devastated your life might appear to be, the shambles it might be in. There's a power in you that can enable you to be stronger and better than anything that's out here.
You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. I let me down. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
Don't let your doubts keep you from your dreams. The biggest killer of dreams is lack of belief. And when we don't believe in ourselves, we start to doubt our abilities, and we start to doubt what's possible. So start focusing on being consistent in building momentum as opposed to consistently building negative momentum with this mindset of disbelief. And when we surround ourselves with people who inspire us and lift us up, when we have accountability partners, when we find great mentors or coaches who can keep us guided on our true north, that's when we start to build belief. That's when we start to build this momentum that anything is possible.
A lot of you totally undervalue yourself, especially because it's art, especially because you're a creator, especially because it's deeply personal.
You must be willing to be consistent every single day to put in the work for your dreams.
You will not get what you don't ask for. You just won't.
If you want this, if you want bling bling, if you want to buy the jets, if you want to do shit, work. That's how you get it.
You know, a lot of what I'm also talking about comes from figuring out, how do I build a business then in something totally different? How do I price myself so that I'm not paid like a chick? You know, how do I position myself so that I build the kind of trajectory that I want? And so everything is figure-outable. And then from there, it's about you trying.
Passion is the game. If you are pissed that you're falling asleep, then you're winning. And if you're not, you're losing. It's as simple as that. And I'm convinced with every piece of my soul that the far majority of the people in this room do not love to death what they do. If you're not 100% pumped every second, if you actually are happy it's the weekend or are pumped to go on vacation, your shit is broken. There's a dirty word that nobody ever wants to talk about. It's the dirtiest word in the game. Work. You have to work your fucking face off to kill it. And there is no substitute. And the only way you're gonna work 15 hours a day and pay that sacrifice to be away from your loved ones and travel and hustle is if you're doing something around a subject matter that you live and breathe and die for.
Every single thing you said you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to do, guess what? It is not lost. Some of y'all thinking the year is lost. It's over. Listen to me, there's hope, but you gotta believe it. Listen to me, you can't do nothing without faith. You can't do anything without faith. It's impossible to accomplish anything without faith. So I need you to believe at some point in September, October, November, or just before the year ends in December, it's gonna happen, all right? So I need you to have faith. I believe in you. That's why I get up and I come out here every morning, every Monday morning, because I believe, all right? I believe you can do it. I'm so excited because somebody looked at me when I was a high school dropout. Somebody looked at me when I was homeless and they said, I believe in you. That although you are a high school dropout, right now you're at the worst place in your life that you've ever been, I believe that this is your beginning, but this doesn't have to be your end. That just because you are currently here, this is your present circumstances, that life don't have to end for you right now. So I need you to get busy living. Are you hearing me? I need you to get busy living. There is still time. As long as there's breath in your nostrils, as long as you can wake up in the morning, listen to me, you still in the game, which means if you're in the game and there's still time in the game, still time left in the game, you can still win the game. The thing I love about the zone is that once you get in the zone, your work will work for you. You're working, you're trying to get something going. But when you get into the fourth quarter, your work begins to work for you. When you get in the zone, you're able to do things effortlessly. You put in 120% every time, or you don't put in nothing, because listen to me very closely. Today, this opportunity you have, it might not be here next year. It might not be here the year after next. It might not be here the year after that. This is the only moment you got.
Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind, follow your heart. There are things that the heart can understand and feel that the mind cannot relate to. There are things that you feel, that you know in your heart of hearts, that's not logical, it's not practical, it's not realistic, but there's something in you that says, I can do this. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. I'm willing to make this happen. No excuse is acceptable. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it.
So whatever you gotta do, you do it. But I'm not about to compromise because you're inflicting pain.
Sometimes it's gonna hail on your crop and rain on your parade, so you got to get ready for that or you will be naive. That's just part of the life arrangement.
You here. He blessed you to be here. Do something.
But there's just times, sometimes you lose. That's part of life.
And there are those of you were this close, but you compromised. If you're still talking about your dreams, if you're still talking about your goals, but you have not done anything, just take the first step. You let your feelings get the best of you. I'm asking you to take the first step. The first step is stop talking about it. The second step is just take one step toward it. And then the next day, take another step toward it. When you become the right person, I'm telling you, you can make whatever kind of money you want to make. You can have whatever you want to have. You can do whatever you want to do. Like, there are no limitations. Somebody telling you when to come to work. Somebody telling you when to take lunch. Somebody telling you when to do a vacation. Somebody telling you what you can and cannot do. Some of us, we were born to fly. But what I'm telling you is when you become the right person, what I mean by the right person is once you identify who you are and you begin to separate yourself from the masses and you begin to see your individuality, when you begin to see your talents, when you begin to see your personal skills. It's all about freedom, and the more you become you, listen to me, the more you become you, the less you got to take orders and the more you can start giving orders. And I'm not talking about giving orders to others. I'm talking about giving orders to yourself. You can't get to the level economically where you want to be until you start investing in your mind. You're not reading books. I got guys in school talking about they want to be rappers and they don't have a dictionary. You want to be a rapper and you don't have a thesaurus? I'm challenging y'all a book a week. I'm challenging y'all to go to conferences. I'm challenging you guys to invest in your mind. Every day when you wake up, every single day when you wake up, you got two options. You can look at the clock and hit the snooze. You can look at that snooze button, boom. You can hit the snooze button and go back to bed. That's right, and do what? And dream. That's right, you can go back to sleep and dream about what you want to have. You know, watching MTV, watching BET, reading magazines, and dream about what you want to be. Right there with your comfortable pillow, you dreaming about what you want to be. Or you can look at that snooze button, kick that clock, and get up and go pursue your dreams.
If you constantly remind yourself, after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success. Yes, 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. You will fail your way to success. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success. What's very important is you're believing in yourself. You're constantly saying, somehow, some way, I'm going to make it. I remember a lady out of Detroit, Michigan. They call her Martha Jean the Queen. And she had a motivational message she gave all the time on the radio. And the question she would ask was, do you really want to win? Do you really want to win? And she said, if you really want to win in life, you've got to believe in yourself when no one else does. You've got to believe in yourself. See, it's easy to believe in yourself and to have faith if you have a good bill of health, if your relationship is working out fine, if you have money in the bank, if you have a secure job, if your mortgage note is paid current, if the children are acting like they have good sense. It's easy. If you go to a doctor, they say, oh, you're doing real good, I'll see you next year. It's easy to have faith then. Let me tell you when it's really tough to have faith. When you lose your job, when you lose your retirement, when you go to the doctor and they look at you and say, you have cancer. Cancer is the most feared word in 7 different languages. That's when it's tough to have faith then. And that's when you need to call on your faith then. They said faith is the oil that takes the friction out of living. That's when you need to believe in yourself then and judge not according to appearances and say to yourself, it's possible. It's possible. I can make it. It's possible. I'm going to get through this. It's possible. I'm not going to allow this to get the best of me. Yeah, I don't know what you're up against. I don't know what you're facing, but here's what I do know. You've got something special. You've got greatness in you. And I know it's possible that you can live your dream.
So that brings me to the final step, that it's necessary for us to begin to look at the future and know that it's possible that we can have our dream. Yes, it is. Other people have done it, then we can do it. We fail a lot of times. Well, a lot of other folks fail, and eventually they came back and they succeeded. So it's possible we can have what we want. And we know that we want to get it. It's necessary that we align ourselves with people that think like we do. It's necessary we get negative, do-nothing people out of our lives. It's necessary we never stop learning and growing and developing ourselves. It's necessary that we never give up. We know that it's you, it's me. It's being responsible for our stuff and deciding that we're going to keep on keeping on, and that we're going to find a way to win or find a way to make it happen. And we know it's hard. It's not going to be a picnic. Yes, it's hard, and we will do it hard. And once we do it hard and we go through it, we realize it was worth it. And once you discover it was worth it, it is done. It's done. It's done, ladies and gentlemen, before it happens. Well, here's what I'm suggesting to you. That when you're working, you have a wall to break through. Let's say a friend of mine who runs a marathon, and he says, when he's running the 26-mile marathon, he said, let's say that hypothetically, that 18th mile is the wall. He said, Les, when you get there and you're running, he says, everything in you is telling you to stop, to give up. Every muscle is aching. And you're saying to yourself, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you just keep on and you keep on and you keep on. It seems like you're moving at slow motion. And then eventually when you break through that 18-mile wall, then you know it's like done and you're on automatic and you glide on in and you know it's there. You know you're going to get to the finish line. And we've all had experiences where we were working on something and we knew it was possible. And we did those things that were necessary to bring it into reality. We took the responsibility to make it happen. Other people couldn't see it. A lot of people didn't believe it. You were attacked. You were criticized. People were opposing you, but you kept on doing it. It was hard. It was rough. It was difficult. But to you, it was worth it. And eventually you got to a level you know, can nothing stop me now. I'm on the move. I'm on the move. Finally, I'm thinking about a friend of mine who is no longer operating on this dimension. His name is Jack Boland. He had this vision of a church that would serve various types of needs for people, their supportive needs and helping them in recovery from drugs and alcohol and whatever addictions that they might be involved in. And he was known for bringing in different kinds of speakers. And over a year ago, he was diagnosed as having cancer, and he announced to his congregation that he's going to be taking chemotherapy, and that it was a possibility that the cancer would go in remission, and he was optimistic about that. And sure enough, it did for a year. And one of the things Jack always talked about is that he wanted to have his funeral while he lived. And so he invited a few friends, Wayne Dyer and myself and a few other speakers. He didn't tell us why we were there, but once we gathered there, the church, they told us in the room that Jack is going to announce to the congregation, he's bringing his doctor up. The doctor is going to say that we felt we could keep it in remission. It's out of remission, and he doesn't have much time left. And whatever words you want to say to Jack that you would say if he had made his transition, speak those words now. Well, we were shocked and we were somewhat stunned until Jack got there. They brought him in a wheelchair, and boy, was he courageous, and he had a strong smile, and they helped him up the steps, and he sat behind the podium. And each of us got up and we said a few things about Jack and the impact that he made on our lives. And he said, the doctor, after announcing that Jack didn't have long, he says, doctor, he said, I accept what you say, but it's possible that that does not have to be the case. But if it is, I will enjoy life to the very last breath I take, even the chemotherapy. I will enjoy that. And Jack did, ladies and gentlemen. And when they said that all of his vital organs were failing, they called his family and his close church staff to the hospital and said he's dying. And so they came and they all gathered in the room. And Jack at that time was unconscious. And he gained consciousness, and he looked at them and he said, well, what strength he had, he said, I want to thank you all for being here. You've been a great staff to me. He looked at his sons, his daughter. He said, you've been a great family. He said, don't feel sorry for me. He said, I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to the next adventure. And he sat there for a little while, laid there, and he closed his eyes, and he lost consciousness. About an hour and a half later, he opened his eyes, and he looked at them. He said, this is embarrassing. I'm not dead yet. They were laughing through their tears. They said, Jack, you are a character. He said, hey, I hate giving up this kind of control. So they predicted that Jack would die at the end of February. And then on the 2nd, they said, he won't see the light of day. He will be dead by morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack died on March 4th. And we believe that even in his dying, Jack sent his congregation a message that I want to give to you with his permission. March 4th is the day he died, and we believe Jack was saying, March 4th. While other people are giving up, feeling like victims, feeling powerless, becoming negative, turning on each other rather than to each other, feeling that they can't make it. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind with the mindset of that it's possible that we can save this generation. It's possible that we can create new industries, a new economy. It's possible that I can find a new profession, a new job. It's possible I can create a new life. And it's necessary that I become actively involved in becoming a positive force in my life and on the planet. And it's me, yes, it's you, it's all of us, pulling together, working together to create this brand new future. And it's going to be hard. Easy is not an option. But if it's hard, we will do it hard. Whatever is required to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And it's worth it, yes. It's worth whatever we have to do. And once we know that, it is done. It is done.
The time is now. The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
It's about motivating the doers. And anyone that wants to sit around and talk shit, they're doing too much time. They're taking too much time talking shit about it instead of getting up off their ass and following their dreams. Because I'm here to follow my dreams, you know, and help other people follow their dreams and inspire people who are dreamers.
Go listen to all my music. It's the codes of self-esteem. It's the codes of who you are. If you're a Kanye West fan, you're not a fan of me, you're a fan of yourself. You will believe in yourself. I'm just the espresso. I'm just a shot in the morning to get you going, to make you believe that you could overcome that situation that you're dealing with all the time. I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
What I'm doing right now, the music I'm dropping, I want it. I want the #1 spot. I will have it. You know, this is what I'm going for, and I want to beat the press. I want to beat, you know, anybody that ever like tried to make me out to be just so crazy and so this and so that. Thank you. You're just adding to the excitement. You're giving me stuff to write about. I want the #1 spot. I'm going for it. I'm about to take it. This is what I'm here to do. This is, I mean, what else do you want me to do? That's why I go to the studio so I can murder shit. This is, you know, this is my job. This is my life.
My mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem.
If I see something, I see opportunity, I'm gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? We only, you know, we're all gonna die one day. Live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. You know, go for it.
Everything you want, you can have instantaneously. Everything you want, instant gratification. Except job satisfaction and strength of relationships, there ain't no app for that. They are slow, meandering, uncomfortable, messy processes. And so I keep meeting these wonderful, fantastic, idealistic, hardworking, smart kids. They've just graduated school. They're in their entry-level job. And I sit down with them and I go, how's it going? They go, I think I'm gonna quit. I'm like, why? They're like, I'm not making an impact. I'm like, you've been here 8 months. You know? It's as if they're standing at the foot of a mountain and they have this abstract concept called impact that they want to have in the world, which is the summit. What they don't see is the mountain. I don't care if you go up the mountain quickly or slowly, but there's still a mountain. And so what this young generation needs to learn is patience. that some things that really, really matter, like love, or job fulfillment, joy, love of life, self-confidence, a skill set, any of these things, all of these things take time. Sometimes you can expedite pieces of it, but the overall journey is arduous and long and difficult. And if you don't ask for help and learn that skill set, you will fall off the mountain.
I am particularly proud and happy about the young filmmakers, actors, singers, writers, producers that are coming up behind my generation. In particular, Barry Jenkins. Young people understand this young man made 10, 15, 20 short films before he got the opportunity to make Moonlight. So never give up. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be no Kerry Washington. If it was easy, there'd be no Taraji Henson, P. Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Michael T. Williamson, no Stephen McKinley Henderson, no Russell Hornsby. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
Don't listen to the naysayers, because there's always people out there that will tell you that you will not be able to do that, forget it, it's a stupid dream that you have, or a crazy vision and those. Don't listen to the naysayers. The number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go. The key thing is that we know where we're going and that you're very passionate about that, that you see it always in front of you, the goal. And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. You know, we don't achieve big things by accident. So shoot for the top, shoot for the sky. The other thing is that you got to work your butt off. If you think that you're going to go and accomplish something really special and be the best in anything in the world, and you think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, sometimes make a lot of sacrifices. Notice, if you're not willing to work hard, forget about it. So this is another rule that is very important. I think another one is just don't be afraid to fail. Because if you're afraid to fail, then you're always holding yourself back because you're afraid that if you go all out, you may fail. Well, in weightlifting, we learned that very quickly. The only way you could break a record is if you're willing to fail. That's when you put on more weight, you try it, sometimes you would not be able to lift it, which has happened to me many times, but eventually, when you train hard enough, you will lift it. So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, how far can you fall?
Me in community college, money is dry, and I was dealing with this girl. And this chick, she was like, you know what you should do? You should start dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
What was the stripper name?
Huh? What was gonna be my stripper name?
Yes.
We didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get. We got far enough for me to think about a routine that I should do. Like, we got far enough for her to give me advice on a routine, and she got some outfits. And it
Outfits?
she was like, dude, this is what you gotta wear. That's when I started getting skeptical. As funny as me putting myself in a situation to possibly almost strip is, There's a lesson in that. Like, yo, as crazy as it was, desperation was in, and I was about to go to the ultimate route of desperation. And it took somebody going, man, what the hell are you doing? My brother, what are you doing? Stupid, what are you doing? No, man, you ain't about to do that. Go out there and just take your lumps. You'll figure it out. You ain't about to do this, not my brother. It took somebody checking me to make me go, all right, it ain't that bad to struggle. I thought if you were struggling, that's bad. Because what else you do? Man, go struggle. Go get your dumb ass out there. It's a lesson within the attempt to find an easy route. You know, I wanted the quick fix. How do I get some quick money in my pocket? The life lesson within that moment was there is no win in the quick route. Right. Everybody wants that quick route. Everybody wants to, well, I'm gonna go straight when I can zigzag real quick and get there at the same time. There's nothing wrong with taking a longer route. There's nothing wrong with grinding. There's nothing wrong with actually working and getting a little dirty and getting some lessons from the dirt that you now got on your hands. Your life is a book. You got different chapters in your life. Ultimately, you're going to get to the end of your book. However you want that book to end is up to you. Are you learning from the chapters? Are you taking the positives out of the negatives to make the next chapters better? Or are you the type of person that can finish each chapter on a negative and shoulder shrug it? You got to start taking responsibility. And when I started doing that, that's when I started to grow. That's when I started to get better.